Hello once again. I want to express something to you all if you are suffering from constipation. Now, let me tell you what constipation is because some people may not be fully aware what it is. Constipation means that you are not having a bowel movement, not just not having a bowel movement, but not having a regular bowel movement. So, explain further, brother teacher. Listen to me and listen to me very carefully. If you are eating food every single day, you are supposed to have at least a bowel movement every single day. If you eat 2 to 3 meals a day, you're supposed to have 2 to 3 bowel movements per day. Now, constipation is when, unbeknownst to many of you, when you improperly mix foods together. Yes, I said that. When you improperly mix different types of food categories together. Now, when you and I were coming up, we were taught and told that there's a food pyramid and that we're supposed to intake food from the dairy group, the meat group, and the grains and cereal group, and so on and so forth. That was incorrect. That is incorrect information. You are not supposed to eat any and everything you want to all combined at the same time. No animal in nature does that. Okay, for example, a tiger only eats meat. It only eats other live animals. It doesn't eat vegetation as part of its diet. Same thing is true with a shark, a polar bear, and an alligator, and all predators. They eat meat. They don't mix their meals. Now, giraffes eat vegetation, the same as gorillas, the same as zebra, the same as cows, elks, and camels. They eat vegetation. They don't eat animals. They don't mix it together. Okay, human beings have a diet, but somehow we've been taught or made to believe that in America, since we're the land of the free and free spirit and all of these liberties and so-called rights that we have, we can do anything that we want to. But let me tell you this, you can't go against nature. Nature has not told you to eat any and everything that you desire to eat, because there are penalties to pay when you do that. And the one specifically that I'm talking about right now is called constipation. 2 ways you can get constipation. Possibly 2 ways. Could be others, but 2 main key ways that you can get constipation. Number 1, make sure that you don't eat meat and that you don't eat a carb together or starch. Meat and starches don't go together because they stay in your stomach longer and it takes longer for them to break down. Do not eat meats, starches, and fruits together because they stay in your stomach longer and it takes longer for it to pass out of your stomach into your intestines and then out. Don't do that. So if you're going to eat fruits and vegetables, make sure you eat them at one time by themselves. I know baked potatoes and steaks, many people have grown accustomed to that. I know hamburgers on a bun, hot dogs on the bun, sandwich meat on the bun. We've grown accustomed to that, but they don't go together because they stay in your stomach longer. That's one thing. The other thing is never eat before you go to bed, especially a heavy meal. Digestion is supposed to occur while you're up and moving around and burning calories. Regular exercise, up and on a job, up in your house doing yard work, and so on and so forth. You're supposed to be up and moving around when you eat and after you eat, if you will. But you're not supposed to lie down. at night after you've had a full meal, to include Thanksgiving turkey and so forth, to include your Christmas meal, to include a birthday meal or a Sunday meal or whatever. Do not go to bed with a full stomach, because digestion is not supposed to happen while you are asleep. Your body's supposed to be recovering and healing while you are asleep, not breaking down food, which should only happen when you're up and moving around, like I said. That causes constipation, because that process of moving through your digestive tract is hindered, is slowed down when you're asleep. And when it's slowed down, it causes the food to putrefy or to rot inside your body, and it causes all types of illnesses, all types of allergies, all types of bowel issues, leaky gut syndrome, okay, and so on. Now, irritable bowel IBS, you know what it is, irritable bowel syndrome as well. Now, the other thing, when I was talking about mixing foods improperly, when you mix foods improperly, they also stay in your stomach for a longer period of time. Understand this, and this is very fundamental, very basic. You have an opening in your mouth. This is where ingestion occurs. Mastication is chewing of your food. Ingestion is when you eat and you swallow. It hits your stomach, it goes to your small intestine, where most of the nutrition is absorbed after it leaves your stomach, and then it goes to the large bowel or the large intestine for the process of elimination, and it goes through that large bowel and then eventually out your colon. What happens when you improperly mix these foods is that they stay in your stomach too long. They get caught up in your large intestine. And this is where you have that colorectal type of cancer, because the food is still in your intestines and it's supposed to move out, because it's moving so slow, and oftentimes it will get hung up in there because it has not properly been broken down in the stomach like it was supposed to. You chew your food 32 times or more until it's almost a liquid. It enters into your stomach. All right, it turns into a bolus and then chyme, and then it leaves, and so on and so forth. Watch my earlier video on digestion. So once it leaves there, it goes in a liquid form into your small intestines and then out of your large intestine. It goes through that process of elimination. Again, your food is not supposed to be in hunks and chunks going through your body, because if it does, it's going to get caught up like a traffic jam, and then it's going to putrefy, as I forestated. It's going to turn into a toxic mess inside your body, and then you're looking at cancer. Okay? Understand that. So when you are constipated, it is because that food is caught up in your intestines and it's not being properly moved through the peristalsis movement. Okay? In the mouth, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and out the body. It's not ever supposed to get caught up. It's supposed to move smoothly through and then out. So constipation, how to avoid it? Stop combining the improper foods. Make sure you eat your vegetation or your vegetables alone. Make sure you eat your meat, if you're going to eat meat, alone. And that's another tough topic all by itself. Meat causes cancer. Dairy causes cancer. Okay? Now, I hope I've answered this question for you, how to avoid constipation, by eating the proper foods at the proper time. If I have not given it to you explicitly enough, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Now, if you are constipated, there is a remedy. Let me give it to you real quick. I've said this in time past. Take a teaspoon of baking soda and 8 to 12 ounces of warm water in the morning. Make sure you don't leave the house. Stir it up, you drink it. It's going to send you to the bathroom. It's going to start breaking down some of that old fecal material that's lodged inside your intestines. It's going to break it down. And the stench from that bowel movement is going to be stronger than any that you've ever experienced, perhaps. But it's that old waste that's been sitting in your bowels. And you want to do this for 2 to 3 days if you have a mild case of constipation. You want to do it for about 5 days if you have a more severe case of constipation, and it will help it move out. Okay, 2 to 3 times a day, early on in the day, and maybe middle to later on in the evening, you want to do that. But make sure that you don't leave the house for a couple of hours, because you're going to have to go to the bathroom 2 to 5 times for it to start cleaning that intestinal wall out. Okay, so again, if you have any questions concerning this, please shoot me your question and I will answer it for you. This is Brother Teacher. I'm out.